Man, oh man, where is Haiden Deegan going to be riding, and what team is he going to be riding for in the 2026 season? Where and what is he going to be making his debut in the 450 class on? I do not remember a time or a rider where there was this much excitement, this much intrigue, and this much, honestly, confusion around where he's going to be going, what he's going to be doing. And I have heard all sorts of different theories and possibilities. There is a lot of things sort of churning in the sport right now. Another part of the turmoil is what is going to happen with KTM. Their future is anything but certain. Are they going to remain in the sport? I certainly hope so. I would imagine you guys do as well. It is going to be a really tough blow to the sport if Husqvarna, Gas, and KTM leaves, but that is a whole different conversation. We don't know what's going to be happening there. So when you look at what Haiden might be doing in 2026, there's a lot of questions, but there does seem to be a few reoccurring possibilities as to what he's going to be doing, what team he's going to be on, and what bike he's going to be riding, and that's what we're going to talk about. So the first is the most obvious, is him remaining on Star Racing Yamaha. Brian Deegan apparently invested in them pretty early on, so not only do they have a financial interest in it from an investment point of view, but Haiden Deegan has experience there. They are proven. They've had success in 250 and 450, and so it would make sense that if you're Haiden Deegan, you want to move into the new class with the experience of a team that's been there, that's done that. He knows the staff, he knows the people there, and so if you're looking at it in terms of what is the easiest transition, remaining on that team, or I guess technically the 450 team is owned by Yamaha Factory Racing. It is just overseen by Star Racing. So I guess technically bumping up to the official factory squad. So that would be I would say the most probable scenario, the one that makes a lot of sense. The next one is something I personally want to see, but it does not seem to be getting a whole lot of momentum. There's not a lot of chatter, and that is him on Ducati. I can't imagine what would be more exciting than, I'm not going to say the most exciting brand, but certainly one of the most exciting brands to enter the sport. Ducati 2026, the name, the look of the bikes, their pedigree, that dark sort of angry burgundy red with, we already know, that gritty Deegan personality. It would be like peanut butter and jelly. It would be so cool to see. That would be awesome, but it doesn't seem like it's getting a whole lot of traction. This sport is relatively small, so when there is something happening behind the scenes, you typically hear about it. I would like to see it. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Would you like to see Deegan on Ducati? Doesn't seem super probable. Maybe he doesn't want to jump on a bike that is still probably going to take some time to get figured out, so that's that. I would like to see it, but I would not put it as a super likely possibility. The next one is what a lot of people are talking about, and this is one of the most curious ones, starting his own team. One of the things that surprises me about this so much is the financial structure that currently exists within racing pretty much means that if you are a team owner, you make absolutely nothing. You put up everything, you pay the riders, you get to the races. It requires a small army to do it. These are some of the hardest working dudes in the sport. You pretty much, you risk everything, you invest everything, and you recoup nothing. They're left holding the cash bag, investing. I mean, you've just heard it time and time again. That's why there's so many teams that have come into this sport from a sort of private area, whether it's like Joe Gibbs Racing or Geico, and they leave the sport because it just doesn't make financial sense. The marketing is good, but it just literally is a faucet turned on, money running. No matter how you break it down, each race they go to, they spend tons of money and they get essentially nothing in return. Because I believe the only way Brian and Haiden, and they are kind of, I think, would attack it together. The only reason that, in my opinion, it would make sense to start your own team is if you were able to change the pay structure and the sort of the profit sharing in this sport, in particular racing. If you're, that is, I believe, going to be fundamental to making the prospects of starting your own team, undertaking this monumental effort, make sense. Because currently, I don't know why anybody would voluntarily jump into this side of the pool. If they were to start their own team, I believe it would be part and parcel with, because they have the power and the sway and the influence to actually do it. So a really interesting possibility there. The fourth one, in terms of what might happen, is just Haiden going to a different team. We don't know what KTM is doing. That's kind of up in the air. And a lot of the other teams already, have their rosters kind of full. Triumph is a possibility. We don't know what's happening with KTM. I would love to see him on Ducati. I'd also love to see him on his own team, or I'd just love to see him stick with Star Racing Yamaha. He's had success. They know how to do it, and for him to go into the 450 class with a formula he's familiar with. So let me know, guys, what you would, like to see him do. What's your take on it? His contract is up at the end of this year, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I've looked into it. There's a lot of confusion, but it seems pretty clear that there is going to be something happening. We just don't know what, but based on what I've seen, those are the most likely scenarios. So let me know what's going to happen. What's your take? Would you guys like to see him on the Ducati? Hope you guys enjoyed the video.